Why do the Kikuyu community fear Raila Odinga or a Raila Odinga presidency? Okay, welcome to part 2 of this series. Is there really a conspiracy, a Raila Odinga conspiracy? Okay, so why do the Kikuyu fear Raila Odinga presidency? As usual, to understand anything deeply and correctly, we must go back to history. But fear not, I'm not going to give you a boring history lesson, yeah? We'll just go quickly over the facts. In the run-up to independence, and indeed in early independence, the Jomo Kenyatta presidency feared one man a lot. That man, of course, was Tom Mboya. Tom Mboya was a Luo, but he was so cosmopolitan, you would not really label him a Luo because he represented the Nairobi constituency, and he ran away as much as possible from any involvement, any association with his tribal background. He deliberately did that. But the reason why he was feared, why did Jomo Kenyatta fear Tom Mboya? Well, I've done a lot of recordings on this. We have Tom Mboya, the new evidence. I have the origins of Raila Odinga. There are a lot of things I've done concerning this. So those of you who have already had my other recordings, bear with me as I repeat myself. The reason why Mboya was feared was because he had links to a very powerful Western country. And that country, of course, was the United States of America. In fact, newly declassified CIA documents proved that not only was Mboya a member of the CIA, but the Americans were actually involved in a major operation in Kenya, whose objective was to get rid of any links to the then Soviet Union. Yeah, there was a Cold War going on then. And of course, the person representing Russian interests in Kenya at that time was Raila's father, Jaramogi Oginga Odinga. Now, of course, Mboya was a Luo, but he was so cosmopolitan that he was not a Luo until after his death. That's when the Luo people realized, oh, this guy was a Luo. Yeah, that's how Kenyan, that's how non-tribal he was. Okay. Anyway, although Mboya was a Luo, he was fully backing the Western side. He was fully backing Kenyan being linked and associated with the West rather than the East at that time, which included people like Russia. So Mboya was feared, and if you read my book, rather also my series, my documentary series on Mboya, New Evidence, you will be able to know exactly what happened, how the Kenyatta government resolved that issue. Mboya had to be gotten rid of, yeah, but that's another story. Okay, so bottom line, Mboya was feared, and after Mboya's death, the Luo community as a whole was looked at by the Jomo Kenyatta government as a threat. So there was a sustained propaganda campaign against this community, and Raila's father, Jaramogi Oginga Odinga, was completely ostracized from politics. I can't go into a lot of details exactly how that was done, but if you catch my other recording within YouTube, you'll be able to get the full story. You should be able to get a link in the description area of this video so that you can get the full details. And so when Raila came to the scene, of course, it has taken him a long time to get rid of the baggage that was carried by his father, Jaramogi Oginga Odinga, of having been associated to the East, Russia at that time. Yeah, the communist side. Communism was looked at as not only as a dirty word, but as a threat to national security. Now, one thing that you really have to give to Raila is a fighter, because under normal circumstances, the strategy and the objectives which the intelligence community had against the Luo community, and indeed the government at that time, was very successful. So it would really take a strong character to rise above all this, rather to rise against this major obstacle that was placed on the path of the Luo community, and to be able to make an impact like Raila has. But of course, the propaganda has continued. It's deeply ingrained in our society, and that's why you get statements like a Luo can never be president, Raila Odinga can never be president. Indeed, before NASA announced the presidential candidate, there was a lot of, what can I call it, apprehension on the side of the government, that, rather they felt that it would be best if the candidate for NASA this time was not Raila. Indeed, you'll remember during Kalonzo Musyoka's spirited campaign to be the NASA candidate, one of the points he brought forward is that he was the only person acceptable to both sides. He was actually saying that Raila Odinga is not acceptable to a certain community in the country, but only he, Kalonzo, would be acceptable to that community. He even became even more specific than that and said he was able to get votes from the president's own backyard, unlike other NASA candidates for president. Yeah, And that's exactly what he was talking about. That's exactly what he was insinuating. Yeah, that Raila Odinga would not be able to get the same acceptance within the Kikuyu community that Kalonzo Musyoka would. So we've already seen there would be a motive for conspiracy, but that is very different from having actually a conspiracy. Is there really a conspiracy against Raila Odinga? Well, let's just go to the next part of this series. Just catch me in the next episode. I'll fully be able to answer that question, especially in view of the upcoming elections, general elections on August 8th. Yeah? Click on that link, top left-hand corner of your screen, and I'll see you there in a minute. This is Chris Kumakucha. Thank you so much for your time and attention.